Alright. Welcome to Sketchy Contract. As the latest winter patch came out recently, I was more active on the Discord and saw that there are maybe some need of a beginner tutorial. So we do write this in this YouTube series. So the goal of this videos might be to explain the game a little bit more, as it is some kind of different than other Leaf-likes, and there's potentially a struggle to reach high quotas or endgame. So there might be some overwhelming features in it, but in the end they're really self-explanatory when you really dig into it and can experience it after each other. So feel free to just skip to different parts in this video. For the starter video, we will just do a visit around in the hub and where you can sign contracts, etc. So you can have an orientation of what you can do in this game. And later on, we will go then from fetch file up to potentially tier 3 quotas. So yeah, I will think we do just I think we do just uncut videos for the runs, so you really can experience completely quota in one video and have the different states of the game. And one video will be just one whole quota, so 3 days with 2 nights. And yes, I guess we just start into the game.
Your contract is due. You may review the details in this tablet at this time.
So when you first load in, you start by now in this hub, and that's already might be confusing because before you started on a different point, but now here is the gambling hall. Right now there's the Christmas event, and overall all of this would be here without some arcade machines which are for festivals, like winter event, I guess winter and Halloween. I don't know if there is any Easter event. I don't think so. It might be just winter and Halloween, as far as I am informed. And yes, first thing, you can scan with right mouse button. So if you have any questions whatsoever, it might be interesting to scan. So here you can see we have useful reference for recruits. So the subtitles of everything just give you a hint of what you can do. And yeah, here's the tutorial. We go through it completely. The contract. We always have one contract for one quota, 3 days. And that's what we have to do. Use the chip to travel to the planet, take a free flamingo as a weapon or something else. And once you travel to the planet, land a ship, then loot as much as you can. That's normal lethal behavior. When no Danes remain, return to Sketchy, bring scrap to the drop-off, collect your Happy Meal reward. Your suit. This already is completely different to many other Leaf-likes. You have some sort of progression system which will stick to you to the end game depending on your settings. So there are many custom settings for different playstyles, and yeah, we will go over this as well. You can level up your suit by just surviving and collecting things, and you can use a flashlight as well as night vision on F and Z for default. Loot is everywhere. Go find it. That's very important on the planets. There are different forms of gathering loot. I will explain it all when we go to the first contract. And there are night shifts. So your ship leaves at midnight, but you will stay on the planet for all 3 days if you want to. You can leave the planet by manually leaving it on ship, but it's usually the gameplay loop to stick on one planet the whole 3 days. There might be some cases where you want to leave early to reset the planet and reset all the loot on it, etc. But usually you stick to one planet for all 3 days. And yeah, overnight there are some more dangerous enemies, but we will go through it all together. And that's the tutorial for now. So where can we go? What do we have here? Very new, you have a museum where you can collect things. Collecting means you just take from the planet what do you want and can showcase it here. I won't go through it right now. Then here is an information about the winter event right now. And here you can leave by an elevator to your apartment. Your apartment is mainly for decoration and just funsies, but you have different rooms here you can decorate later on with all you collect. But there is some part you can storage, or you can use as storage. And you really want to overshoot your quota by collecting, but then just give the right amount you need for this particular quota. So our first quota would be 200. We want to sell later on exactly 200, as we don't get any real bonus from overselling the quota. So to really reach the end game, you just want to sell the perfect quota, as there isn't any really need to oversell it, and you mainly want to collect everything and store it for later contracts which are harder to complete. Alright, then there are different spots where you can view and modify your suit. For example, here you have different kinds of credits and values and cosmic coins. I don't get the word right now. Yeah, anyway. You can look at them on up. So you have credits, cosmic coins, arcade coins, and gacha coins. Also here all your collectibles and furniture and stuff. You can have a look through it. There are also the event thingies, but yeah, there are also hidden things, hidden furniture. There are many things to collect. But that's not the point for right now. For the suit, you have also level points. And my suit level right now, as I started on a fresh quota, is just 1. And max level would be 90. So we will have in the end, I guess then 89 points to... Oh no, I think it should be exactly 90 for reaching the last. It should be an even number. So I guess it should be 90 then. So 90 points to totally skill in all of these things. Max points is usually 10 per perk, and you usually want to max out health first. So your first 10 points you want to put completely into health. There is some partly rising in your numbers by just leveling the suit, so you will gain passively some health, but you really want to skill it. And after health, you usually want to specialize for one damage, either melee damage or range damage. I personally would stick to range damage, as it is more flexible for different enemies, but later on in a different video, I guess, we will have a look at all these different skill things. For now, you can completely ignore this three perks down here, as you can upgrade it anyways by reaching suit level 31. Alright, these are my recommendations. You can look through all of it. You have stamina increase, oxygen increase, which might be interesting later on. It really depends on your settings. And night vision might be useful for new players and beginners to have a more like a vision and get a feeling for something, but later on you might ignore these points and put them into a different, as you can always change them outside the planets. So if you are in orbit or on the main station. Shield is something recently new. It was before some it was called exosuit, but it was some damage reduction you gain passively. But now there's a shield which you usually want to skill the shield when you stick to melee damage, when you stick to range damage and range weapons. You usually want to go for the dodge. Yeah, and that's a briefly overview for the attributes. For the suit, you can have different skins. We go over this another time, you can have a look. Also, weapon charms, there are many things to collect. That's just optics and decorations. You can choose whatever you want. Feel free. One thing about the decorations, you have these different... I really have to look it up now. Wait a second. Currencies, oh my god. You have these different currencies. The first one, credits, is the main currency in the game for buying anything related for your contract, like weapons, med gens, storage boxes, all these kinds of things. Cosmic coins are completely separate for decorations. So there is nothing like in other Leaf-likes. It was before similar, but by now it's separated, which is really nice. You don't have to decide if you want to have fashion or good weapons. You can just buy both with different currencies, which is really nice. So Cosmic Coins is completely for something like I want to have a different suit, like this white suit or something, different color, or I want to have these fancy looking suits or whatever. It's just Cosmic Coins. Or For the events, it might be special, a special currency, like for the different Halloween events and all like this. This you really will learn to love or hate or both. Yeah, so all these things are just completely by the decoration currency, cosmic coins, and the other store where we go now will be completely for gameplay purpose. You used to start in this location, the Sketchy Diner, where, yeah, here's the main shop where you have these normal credits. You can buy different weapons. Right now we can't buy anything, but there are different tiers. I will explain the tiers in a different menu, as it is more straightforward to explain. But long story short, you usually have one tier, and everything in this tier, like this range weapon, pulse rifle, or medgens, and if you reach a higher tier, you can buy an upgraded version of it. There are some unique things, like for example the Echo Lens. Echo Lens is a really nice item, but its purpose is just to get an overview for your contract and where is all the loot. There isn't any upgrade for this. So there are some special things like Echo Lens or also the Shrink Ray, but usually it's just straightforward upgrades, like this range weapon, pulse rifle, then you get the pulse rifle deluxe, and then pulse rifle supreme. Alright, so here you can sign your contract, and your contracts are Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Tier 1 is for new players. It also recently got updated, so it isn't that hard for beginners. But that's also the reason why I record these videos right now. I hear it anyway from different people that different enemies or locations or even just collecting the pure value of the quota is too hard, or they don't really know how to reach these things. And yeah, it partly is because of this update, because all the value is lowered, so that experienced players aren't really they don't have a reason to come back to this low contract, because they usually play on tier 2 or tier 3, depending on what they want to do. However, for new players, we will focus just for this tier 1 and then go to tier 2 and to tier 3, all by just naturally progression. How does these contracts work now? There is a quota cap and a suit level cap. Everything else from now you can mainly ignore. The important things are a suit level cap and a quota cap. So what does this exactly mean? We go over all the other thing as well, but just to explain the main purpose of these tiers. When you start a contract by signing it, and then you sign it on the first day, and you have to reach a quota. For example, the very first quota of the game would be 200 in value. After that, all quotas will be increased until they either, for the first tier, reach the cap of 1600, or for tier 2 and tier 3 they will go on uncapped. However, when you reach a certain quota, like 1600, you can then switch to a higher contract. And if you then reach a quota of 5100, you can switch to an even higher contract to tier 3. So your goal is to reach high quotas to unlock, unquote, these different tiers. After you unlocked tier 2, you can also switch back and forth for these both different tiers. So you can also reset your quota and start again from 200 value and just level your suit. You really want to level your suit, because suit leveling just is a very important thing to get some power and overcome different enemies by either health, increasing your survivability, or also damage to really be able to kill all these things. So you really want to level your suit, and your suit level is kept by the contract you sign. So I said before, max cap is 90, but for tier 1 you can only level your suit to level 30. So you really have to increase the contract to keep leveling. However, before you reach level 30, there isn't any really point to push for tier 2, because you can still level your suit in tier 1. So you first want to level your suit to the corresponding cap, like 30, 60, or then 90, and then really switch to the higher tier. So first we want to reach the suit level 30 and a max quota of 1600, so we can switch back and forth. Alright, then everything else, you can reach some titles, which are just passively, you can choose them. Then here, I'm just recruit right now, and you can earn different amounts of these cosmetic currency, cosmic coins. Yeah, then depending on your tier, you have access to this different tiers in the shop. You can buy higher items on a higher tier and then go back to a lower contract and still use them, but you can't buy any new ones of a higher tier. I will show this when it's time for it. And then last but not least, there's just a difficulty, so new players are really recommended to just grind tier 1 to get a hang of the game, and then you can upgrade. Right. And then, what else is to show? There's your apartment, where you really can do whatever you want, use your cosmic coins and all those things. But here is a testing ground, where you have also test dummies. I can show you the fighting as well. You can normally jump on spacebar. You can crouch on control. You can sprint with shift. And there's one important thing: you can dodge with alt, with left alt. Dodging also, as well as sprinting, does use your stamina, so be careful with it in a contract. Here you can also collect pets by collecting different eggs on the planets. We can thumb to it. Here you can use your cosmetic currency, cosmic coins, also for the different tiers, to just buy decorations. And yeah, then we have the point where you can drop off your loot. So here you can see required loot would be 200. Right now we have 0 dropped off, and we would get 0 credits out of this contract. You can send your scrap with the green button. With the red button you can finalize your contract. Often you will have this not so often by now, but you usually used to have these questions, would you like to finalize, also for staying overnight, but now you per default stay overnight. Yeah, but you can deny it as well as submit, so you really can double check if there isn't anything. You don't have to panic. Alright, then here, to get an orientation for it, here you have your ship. First things first, this is your ship. I personally would recommend to just place everything as you want in your ship to really be comfortable. Yeah, you can customize a lot of things in this game, which is really nice. You have all these quick travel points to your apartment, so these are really nice to get back to your ship. You have a fridge here for storing enemies. You also have this shelf here. You have your ship name. This is very lethal-like, and also you have your bed. With Y, you can relocate things, as for example your bed, or put them away, so you have just more space. You can also put it then in your apartment. I really would recommend it for new players, so you just get a space in it. You can decorate everything as you like. So for example, I just use my bunker bed, and then I also can rotate everything and replace it now for the first time just here. So we have space in our ship. You also can, since an update, move this shelf, but I would recommend it, because it was always there and it fits there so perfectly. Just leave it. Don't even move it in the first place, because just leave it like it was and it's completely fine there. It just fits perfectly with all these other things you can't move, so there isn't any really thing in point in moving it. Yeah. What else? You can take your first weapon here, a flamingo. It's always free, so you have a weapon. You can, with left mouse button, attack. And we can go to the testing range. So you can attack. And you also see right now the health. That would not be the case in-game, but can scan with right click to see the health of different enemies. You really should do this, because you then can see, alright, there's just one more hit. I can push for a dead enemy or something like this. Or you can see, alright, this guy does have 5,000 life or 10,000 life or whatever, a way too big number, so I really want to bother with them. Alright, what about dodging? You can dodge with Alt to really avoid many attacks in the game. Dodging gives you, like in a Souls game, complete iframes. There are some projectiles with have explosions which aren't to dodge that easy, but for example this guy, you can dodge these things. It isn't that easy, especially for range enemies. There are these guys as range enemies, but only on one planet. So it's fine, it's fine. Don't worry. Normally, there are slow melee attacks which you can dodge really nice when you get the timing right. So just really get a hang to it. You will learn the timing for sure. Alright, what else? You have a flashlight and also a night vision, which is really useful for different things in the game. You can also in the settings use these keybinds. You just have to do whatever you want with this. But the interesting part is I now used up my energy while I am in night vision in the left corner. You see reducing it. It used to reduce also for the flashlight, it doesn't do anymore, but for night vision it reduces your energy. How do we get it back? There are different charging points. These charging points also recharge your oxygen in case you run low. Also, in case you run low, don't panic for oxygen. As long as you can reach a safe area where oxygen decline stops or a charging point, you usually survive. It isn't an insta-kill, it ticks down really hard, but it isn't an insta-kill, especially when you have later on more life. Just get a feeling for it and then it's fine. Here you can also drop off quota. We will see this after contract. You can close and open the door. We never close the door for our team. We just leave it open. There might be some night enemies come close to your ship, but just in one case, really for one map, it's the case. So usually around the spawning of a ship, there is just a clean platform where anything doesn't spawn, so it should be fine. What else? Here you have the sketchy data, where you can, after scanning an enemy, so again, use your right click to scan for things. Also for here, restoring oxygen and flashlight. It just tells you so much information of the game. Use your scanning. Here you can see this deals 25 damage. We saw it above before that it was 25 damage, but really use it. Scanning is so important in this game. Yeah, so after scanning an enemy, you can here get more information about it. We will go through it, but yes. If you want to experience it for your own, just scan things. Then, here you can also modify your suit level. Showed this before. And then we have this. You can rename your ship. I just put in ship. And we have now tutorial, for example. Or ship, just ship, enter I guess, and then name tutorial. You usually do it just once. So we have now our ship. Our ship is the tutorial. You see? So yeah, just type it in, press enter. Anyone who know old consoles or are somewhat into programming know these things. Yes, it's fine. You can always go back if you put in CD and then enter. You go back to the menu before. What else? Just escape for leaving. You don't have, but you can put it in. You can also just press your escape button. Then, what else? Scan. You can use the scan so you can see what amount of quota is left on the planet. Like different harvesting things like buried loot, minerals and herbs, but also the quota totally in items. And then you can access. Access is for different levels on the planet. We go over it if you are on a planet, but for now, just as an explanation for someone is confused, access, so ACS, ACS, enter, and then level number, for example, level 1. So you have level space 1 space and then a 3-digit code. Usually it's something like ED3 or something. And then enter. Now on the right side you see access denied. If you have the right code, it highlights it here then as unlocked or something. Yes, that's this. And then you can see here the time, remaining days, and the quota as well as the contract. What else? And now, one of the most important things for your contract is customization. If you press escape and go to the settings, you have one thing is accessibility, which is really nice for crawler safe mode. And also for eating noise. But the other thing is customization for your contract. So there are different things. I personally would recommend, especially for new players, if you play in a group, you can turn off friendly fire. So you actively have to choose friendly fire for getting killed by your teammates. It's a client setting, so everyone can choose for their own if they want friendly fire or not. If you have friendly fire, you can be damaged. Every person have to have friendly fire for their own to can be damaged. You can't choose, I choose friendly fire and damage others. They have to choose if they want to be able to be killed. I would recommend to just leave friendly fire off. Sometimes in this game you might be stuck. If you have a teammate, you can be killed. You can also put it on in the middle of a round, so just leave it off, and if you need it to get unstuck someone, you can unlock it. What else? Suit penalty. You can choose to lose suit progress by failing a contract. I would leave it to 0 for getting a start of the game. Just feel free to choose your own difficulty. It's really nice if you want hardcore and lose everything, like in a classical roguelike experience or some lethal-like experience where you lose everything. Fine for me, but for new beginners, just don't make it too hard. First learn the game, then you can always do it more difficult. So start with 0%, so you don't lose anything of suit progress, as well as 0 credit loss. Don't lose anything of the credits you need to buy for weapons and all things. Enemy health and enemy damage, you can tinker with it a little bit, but I usually would recommend it just to stick on 100%. For the normal gameplay, it's completely fine. If you go lower, the value of the enemy corpses get reduced. I won't recommend it because you usually can kill these enemies on 100%. You can do them, you can make them harder to get more quota out of it, but I don't recommend it for the start. But I also don't recommend it to drop it lower, because getting value by corpses is a really important thing in this game to reach high quota. So just use 100% for both, and then you get a feeling for what is doable or what not, and then you can tinker with it for your personal interest. What else? Serving ship loot. Keep ship loot on team death. I would really recommend to do it for the first contract. You can store everything in your room. It will stay there also if you die on the ship, but I usually, because it's just unnecessary work to put everything in the apartment to preserve it, we in our group just preserve it on the ship. So you can put here some shelves, and then you can just put the quota here, and yeah. I would recommend to preserve the ship loot for your first hours of the game, for your first deaths and resets, so you don't lose anything, and after this you can decide if you want to lose everything or not. Same with weapons. All weapons which you take with you, which usually are your go-to weapons, you will lose on the planet when you die. Everything else which you stack as backups, again, as backups, not for taking with you, you will just keep on the ship. It doesn't matter if you stack backups on the apartment, which are completely safe, and you come back and put them in, or you just stack them here. It really doesn't matter. So it's just unnecessary time loss for everything. So just make your ship your home place, make it comfortable, leave these boths in, and oxygen degen, just put it out. There are these different tiers you can unlock. On level 2 there is per default oxygen decline. You can't disable it. There is just oxygen decline on level 2. So the only thing that you do by activating oxygen decline here is to make the early game harder by also enabling oxygen decline for level 1. So it really doesn't matter. Just use oxygen decline off in your custom settings, and then you can learn the main game and push sometimes into level 2 if you feel comfortable. But you really want to level this oxygen beforehand. So yeah, just get hang to the early game, and then it's completely fine. Alright, last thing, last but not least, if you go here enter Violet Seed, you can choose your planet. There are many different planets with many different event ports. So there are different places. This have 3, 2 is 5. This is also 2 planets, so or 2 ports. So in total we have here 7 ports, which are the base game, as well as this 8 port, Sector 0. And then we have these 2 special planets, which are from the events. This is the Halloween event from 24. This is the Halloween event from 25. From 2024, 2025. This is the winter event from 2024. This is the winter event from 2025. They are still in the game. Not like in other games where you lose the ability to play these custom maps or something like this. They are completely in the game. The only thing you can't do always, but always when it's the event, is this special currency you need for buying the Christmas or Halloween skins or something like this. But everything else will stay in the game. So these special planets have different mechanics, which are completely differ from other planets. And they really are so nice and so cool, so nice made. For example, this Hollow Manor and these Darkwood. This one have Paranormal Investigation. This have Witch Hut. They are very spooky, and I will do separate videos for each of these maps, general for each of these maps. But yeah, just to get a feeling for it and to show all the players that they aren't impossible. When you first start this game, some like the Witch Hut for the Halloween event 2024 seem very hard, very unfair. They are completely fine if you know what you're doing. Yeah, so you can start. For example, I would recommend the very first planet, Port Coral. For example, I don't know if they are unlocked bound. It seems like it. You may have unlocked all these ports with some low amount of credits. But yeah, just go to Port Coral. It's a very beginner-friendly first map. You can start and travel to hyperspace. And if you reached orbit, you can check again. You can also leave if you want to. Have a view for the planet. And then, if you're ready, taking your flamingo, you can again go back to Sketchy Bay, or if you are here, press enter, press E again to start your engine and start your first contract. Alright, we will do this in a separate video, but for now, thanks for watching. I did go back to Sketchy Contract, nice, or to Sketchy Bay. But yeah, we will see for the next video, starting on Port Coral on a complete new fresh file. And yeah, if you have any further questions, these 2 things I will explain on the planet, or this when we go back from the planet, this when we are on the planet. So, or have the things for it, don't worry, I don't forget them. Yeah, I guess that's for a very brief start video, which is 50 minutes, but very everything explained to get a fresh start and have a nice game in, yeah. nice time in this game. So have a great time, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.